Rage on that beat, going crazy.
What's going on, angler unit people? What do you think we're doing today? Yeah, I know, another unboxing. You know, let's put it this way. I've stopped taking cameras fishing with me, and my fishing has been so much more enjoyable and so much better. So this channel was really about getting to know other anglers, and I've got some awesome interviews coming up real soon with some really awesome people. In the meantime, I'm still buying gear, so I might as well show you guys what I'm getting, right? I mean, everyone loves this. So yeah, Tackle Warehouse is still not sending big boxes. They're breaking shipments up. So we'll dig in here. We'll see what I got. I'll discuss with you my reasons for buying some of this stuff, and you'll probably figure out the next deep dive into all the colors that I'll be doing shortly here. So let's dig in. So first up, box number one. You know what? Let's open both boxes. Let's just get it over with. All right, you guys ready to dig into some yummy fishing toys? I know I am. So, what do we have here from Tackle Warehouse? All right, so right on top here, I see a bunch of stuff from Geecrack. I picked up the Bellows Gill. Have not ever used it. I have used, and it should be in here. I think I picked up a package of the Deps Bullflat. I've used this in the bigger size. I think it's the 4.5 inch. This is the 3 or 3.5 inch Bullflat. And, oh no, my bad. It's the 3.8 inch Bullflat. I haven't used this size. I've only used the bigger one. So let's start with the Bullflat. So, creature bait, I fished the bigger one on an owner 4/0 beast hook, and I just, you know, throw it out and let it glide down near cover. I wanted to try the smaller size on a free rig, and, you know, I'm in the Northeast here, so this size just does better for me. So let's start out and we'll take a look at the 3.8 inch Bullflat here. I believe I always get like the bluegill colors, and I think this one is, I'm pretty sure this is watermelon blue flake. Again, I don't have, well, I do have the receipt, but I'm not looking at this crap. So let's get this open. All right, let's check out the, I cut out the Chris struggling with the packaging here. All right, so here we are, 3.8 inch Bullflat. Now, I believe when I ordered this, I'm quite positive that I ordered watermelon blue flake. And it looks like that. So yeah, rad little bait. I think I'll probably rig this on a 3/0 hook with maybe a 1/8 ounce sinker out in front of it, you know, freely sliding up and down on my line. I'll probably fish this one on, I'm gonna say 15-pound line on like a medium heavy, shorter jig rod, something in that around 7 feet. So yeah, Deps Bullflat 3.8. All right, back to the Geecrack in the Bellows Gill. Same idea here with the Bellows Gill. This is also a 3.8. Now I have the bigger size Bellows Gill, but I haven't fished it yet. And just with the results I had with the bigger Bullflat, I just thought, you know what? The 3.8 is where it's at for me right now with fishing pressure and the places that I'm fishing. So I don't remember what color I got here. I know it's a bluegill, and I know it's like a something like stained gill. So it is a like a black and purple with a watermelon belly. I would call that watermelon or green pumpkin. I don't know. These companies, you know, if you're talking about yum baits, this is their watermelon, which to me, I love a watermelon that has that just a little bit of brown in it. But most people would call this green pumpkin, and the top is black and purple flake. Looks a little bit like a black and blue, but it is clearly black and purple, which is beautiful. So, you know, I'm thinking 2 to 3 feet max water visibility, just, you know, around the banks, around cover on, again, this one on a 3/0 EWG hook with a small weight. So again, this one will be on a free rig. So that is the Bellows Gill 3.8. And I can't remember the name of the color. I believe, I can't remember. I believe it's called stained gill or dark gill or dirty gill. Haven't used it, but I have high hopes that it'll be like a variant on the Bullflat. Okay, so 3.8 Bellows Gill. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. And then these remind me a little bit, the Bellows Stick. This is the 4.8 and the 3.8. It reminds me of a Lake Fork product that I was using about, I'm going to say, back in like 2008. It was like a ring fry with the same bellows on it. And it was amazing in shallow, clear water. And I thought, this is like a return of that. Now, I've used the bigger Bellows Stick as like a Senko alternative. I think it's the 5.8. And I'm sure everything's 0.8 with a lot of Japanese stuff because they're going in millimeters and not inches. And that's where a lot of these 0.8s come from. I haven't tried these smaller sizes, but I know they're going to do awesome. One thing with the Bellows Stick that I've noticed is they are very fragile. So, you know, with the Bellows Stick, I'm going to say spinning gears probably a better option, even though I'd rather use a bait caster. So I don't know what this color is, again, because, you know, it's all Japanese to me, but it is one of, I think they call this light gill. So it is like a cream belly with gold flake and a smoke with red and blue on the top. So there's your cream belly with gold flake, smoke with red and blue. And you can see I'm trying to hold this perfectly still, how much it wiggles and jiggles. So, you know, shaky head, little finessey, wacky rig bait, you know, in the shallows, in clear water. It's not going to be a long casting bait weightless. They're just not heavy and dense like a Senko. But just Japanese colors are so rad. And I love things that are sort of a little bit more translucent and light and not so easily identifiable in the water. I just like it to look mysterious to a fish. So that's the Bellows Stick 4.8. I also got the 3.8 for some of the smallmouth waters. I don't think you need to go this small with largemouth, but looking at this, again, I don't know what color this is, but it is like a light faded watermelon with some blue flake in it. So it's very faded, and I love stuff like this. I love those sort of washed out colors that are, you know, hopefully two-tone a lot of times. You know, anything that has counter shading, you know, I'm a huge fan of. So in looking at this, and I was thinking, you know, this would be nice on a Ned head in the smallmouth waters. I'm also thinking this could be really awesome on a drop shot. So right now I could say for sure this is going on the drop shot setup for largemouth, but it will see action as a Ned rig as well. So that's the 3.8 inch Bellows Stick. I got a couple other things here from Deps. Now this is one, these are two that I have fished in the bigger size. So these are the, I believe, these are the 5 inch. I've had them in the 6 inch. So these are the 5 inch Sakamata Shads from Deps, and the Sakamata Shad is awesome. If you like to fish like a Zoom Super Fluke, any of those weightless fluke baits, these are awesome because these are more dense than a Super Fluke. And they have, so let's tear one open here. They have, with the Deps, they're a lot heavier. And they have these fins up front that sort of keep them planing a little more horizontal. And they just have a real nice side-to-side action. So they're just, you know, think of a Zoom Super Fluke, just a little bit more, like slightly more dense. So there's one there. Again, I don't remember what colors I ordered. But this is a color I haven't used. So this is like a, you know, it's a watermelon, and the top half is like a pearlescent, almost a pro blue, like a soft purpley blue with a watermelon under stomach. And again, you know me, I love counter shaded baits. I love flukes, and the 6 inch in this is a total beast of a bait. It's a completely different animal, and I knew I needed to go back down to the 5 inch. So you can see there's what it's known for, those two horizontal fins up front that sort of work like airplane wings and just give it a little bit more forward glide as opposed to letting it nose down. It's just, this color, you just can't find a color like that in USDM baits. Not like this. It's just got an awesome watermelon glow. I mean, it glows the bottom half. And like that pro blue, purpley, blue, gray color up top. Sick color. So, try that out. And then I just got a typical shad pattern right there. I mean, you can see it. It's a cream belly with a ghost top with black and silver flake in it. So, you know, basically bluegill, shad. That's it. So that's it for the Sakamata Shad in the 5 inch. Now here are some Deps baits I've never fished. I don't really need them because I've got my Ned rig baits dialed. I use the Doe Live Beaver in the 3 inch size and the Mega Bass Hazadong Shad in the 3 inch size. So if I'm doing bait fish, it's the Hazadong. If I'm doing craws, it's the Doe Live. And those are the two I use on my Ned rigs. But the Deps Death Adder just looked cool because instead of being one that you use for minnow forage or one that you use for like a crayfish forage, this is sort of one of those ones where it's just your traditional Ned worm in a 3 inch size. I'm just gonna take this one out. So I basically got a watermelon pro blue. Well, you guys wanna see them. Let's just take them out. All right, so I got a lighter one that's like a watermelon pro blue, and I got a darker one that is like a brown blue, like smoke back. So little tiny guys, okay? Awesome drop shot bait, awesome finesse Ned bait. So this one, again, you know, I'm not out there memorizing colors, but this one has a brown translucent belly, like I would call it pumpkin. And then the back is a darker brown with almost like a brown purple with blue flake. So it's a really unique color. It's nice, it's dark. That should be fun to throw around just as an option for a drop shot or a Ned rig. You know, I don't drop shot the Doe Live Beaver, although the Hazardong Shad's my primary drop shot bait. I mean, I think if I'm throwing a drop shot at this point, it's the Hazardong like 98% of the time, which is probably a big mistake on my part, and I'm lazy. And if, you know, those Hazardongs hold up really good, and so, you know, I just leave them on till they die. So let's just take a look at the other color here. It's kind of a watermelon pro blue affair. Again, translucent see-through watermelon belly and a pro blue back, counter shaded. You know, if I don't always use counter shaded baits, but I try to. So I would say, you know, if I buy 10 baits, 8 of them better be counter shaded. They don't always need to be, but that's my preference. So here we go. 2 of the Deps Death Adder, 2 bags of the Sakamata Shad in the 5-inch because the 6-inch was just too beefy and heavy for the gear that I want to throw a fluke on. I scaled back my Deps Bullflat from the bigger 4.8 size. This is the 3.8. Some Geecrack Bellows Gills and Bellows Sticks. All right, this one. There used to be a website, and I can't even remember the name of it now, but I was using it from about 2004 to, I want to say, like 2015. Maybe 2014. I don't know. But I used it for a long time, and it was a an online log where you would record every fish catch you made throughout the year, weather conditions, size of the fish, color of the bait, which way the winds were blowing, what the sky looked like, the water color. And then it would had an aggregate, and you could go back and go on the website, and you could say, like, what was my my best producing bait in May when the water was stained. I mean, literally, you could get as specific as you wanted. And I did like when they shut the website down, I did go download all my data so that I didn't lose it, because there was a time, I don't do it anymore, but there was a time where I logged everything meticulously. And you could use it on your phone even back then. And, you know, if you didn't have your phone with you, you could just log it when you got home. And I looked at what was my most productive crankbait overall of all time. And it was this. I mean, literally, it was like 10 to 1. The Mann's Baby 1 Minus. I don't know what to say. The Fire Tiger color, this color, just outproduced everything. And it didn't matter the water clarity. You know, depth is an issue. So it's a 1 minus. So we all know it's super shallow. Now you can put a little lead weight on the nose and get it down to that like 2-foot range. Let me just take it out and show you it. I will always have this on me in some form, in a bag, somewhere. It has to be with me because it's an absolute confidence bait. Now, literally, I've done more damage on this little shallow crankbait than all my other crankbaits combined. And the only thing I can chalk it up to, I mean, the action's awesome and you have to sift through a lot because it is a Mann's product. Sometimes the paint's not dry. I can feel it's not dry on this one, but I think that's the key. This doesn't sound like any other shallow crankbait that I've ever used. Even ones that have no rattles and ones that, you know, silent ones or ones that have rattles or one knockers, whatever it is, I think it's the tone. I really do, because it can't be the profile, it can't be the swimming action, it can't be the size. But all the other Manns, you know, in this series don't catch fish like, you know, the Baby 1- does. I don't know what it is. So I always try to keep a couple of these in reserve, stashed away, and I always want to have one on the water with me because I just know it'll get bit, and they get bit. It doesn't matter. Water clarity, doesn't matter. Clear water, doesn't matter. Middle of the day, clear water, doesn't matter. All right, some Trocar. These are the non-weighted swim bait hooks in the 3/0 size. I don't own these. I just wanted to try these for the free rig for the Bellows Gill and the smaller Bullflat. They have a spring lock, which I don't know if it's ideal for certain presentations. Some people hate, you know, a spring keeper. I'm on the fence. I think when it's a swim bait presentation, there's nothing better. I think when it's a worm presentation, especially larger worms, it's probably a hindrance. I don't know, but it is easy and it's good for lazy people. You know, all-purpose snaps from Owner. I try to have them in every size. You know, 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm a big fan of snaps. I use them. I don't find that they impede action. I don't, you know, is it a weak link? Maybe. I haven't lost a fish. I haven't broken off at the snap. I have lost a few megabass baits where I thought the snap was closed. And I watched a couple megabass baits sail into the horizon. But I don't find them to be a hindrance, especially like the size 0, which hold, I believe, I don't know, they're like 15 pounds. Like, you know, I'm okay with that. And the size 0 is so tiny, you're not spooking fish. I don't know. I believe in snaps, and I use them, and I swear by them. And they save you line, and they also save you from having little snippets that go into the bottom of your boat, into the water, onto the bank. Like, if you don't have to leave little scraps of line that go flying when you cut them off, don't. Owner Beast 4/0. I have plenty of these. I have 4/0, 6/0, 8/0. I've used them for years on swim baits. The 4/0 in the Owner Beast is deceivingly big, not in a bad way. Like, you could totally get away with this with more baits than you realize. Why I say it's deceivingly big is like, because the gap's so good on it, I still like it on like 5-inch baits. Some Aaron Martin's drop shot G-Finesse hooks. That's sort of turned into my go-to drop shot hook. Between that and the Owner, I don't know. I don't really have a preference, but I do love Aaron, and wish, you know, he was still around, because I think he was awesome for the sport end of things. Packing slips, no thanks. All right, so P-Line Shinsei, fluorocarbon leader in 8-pound. I've never used this. I use the 8-pound Seagar Tatsu. I just keep a spool in my bag, my day bag, and I pretty much use that. All my spinning reels have 10 or 15-pound braided mainline on them. And then I use basically 8-pound fluorocarbon on everything for all, and sometimes 10 on the bigger spinning rod. It's expensive stuff. It's awesome. It's beautiful. P-line has always been good to me. I thought I would give this leader a try because I'm out of the Tatsu, and that stuff's expensive, and this stuff isn't expensive. And P-line really, people that use it trust it beyond reproach. People that aren't familiar with it maybe think it's like a cheap brand. It's not. This stuff, a lot of the P-line products have been flawless for me. Never used this, but I'm just gonna try it out and see if it's even close. Like, you know, if we're saying Tatsu's like a 10 out of 10 and this stuff's like a 7.5 out of 10, that's good enough for me because of the cost savings. Very inexpensive fluorocarbon leader. You know, that just goes in my bag so I can, you know, retie some leader lengths. And I tie long leaders too, just because I'm lazy and I don't want to be going from like 8 feet down to like 4 feet. So I start at like 15 feet of leader, and then just like through some bait changes, you know, I try to get like a month or two before I have to tie a new leader. All right, next up, stick baits. I got away from these. I turned my back on a brand that was really good to me. Yum. I think there's some issues with Yum, and I will talk about them in a second here. So Yum's been around a long time, and I used the Dinger primarily. I mean, I would jump back and forth between the Senko and the Dinger, but I found that the Dinger did way better in depths, 4 feet and shallower. I think it had to do with the fall rate, and I also think it had to do with what Yum used. They used an attractant. That's not the right word, but it was like Powerbait, and they had LPT. They were really salty, and it was like an anise smell, but that shit worked. Then they went to this thing called F2. So it was like the second go around scent. And there was way less salt on the outside. And I noticed something changed with the F2. They didn't have the density, and they had the sink rate changed, and the action actually changed. It went from like that Senko wiggle to kind of like just a dead fall. And I was like, you know, I couldn't figure it out between the LPT dingers and the F2 dingers. Now, I don't know what gave me the impression that maybe Yum got away from the F2 and went back to their original formula, but I bailed on them maybe half a decade ago. But I decided it was time to go back because the price is phenomenal. Stick baits get tore up, and I have a lot of confidence in the Yum. I don't know why. I just have so much confidence in the Yum Dinger. And I kind of want some of that back. I'm trying to go back to my roots with a lot of stuff lately. So this is their shad pattern. It is a just a cream and black laminate. You guys know I love laminates. I'm not going to open these because they're Yum Dingers, and everyone knows Yum Dingers. This is Ghillie Suit. It's a good color. It's like a dark watermelon with copper and blue flake. I hesitate to call it green pumpkin because it really doesn't have that green brown. It's more of just the dark green that some green, I mean, it's really the dark green that some of the watermelon colors are. Someone needs to get like a rule book of what we can call soft plastic colors. Here we go with the most clutch color of all time, watermelon red flake. Absolute confidence color of all time for me. This is a Dinger color I've never used or seen before, and then watermelon candy. So let's take this one Dinger out. This one's called Dirt Purple. This didn't exist back when I was going bonkers with the Yum Dingers. So let's take a look at that one. So Dirt Purple appears to be what did they used to call this? Pumpkin seed with a green pumpkin, purple and green flakes. So like almost a green pumpkin candy back with a pumpkin seed translucent stomach. So yeah, I mean, just looking at this in person, this already's got a spot locked up in my arsenal. That's really a rad color. And the watermelon red flake, I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys about that one, but there's something about Yum's watermelon that other companies never were able to accomplish. And let's see if I can get it out here. There we go. I don't know how to describe it, but some companies, their watermelon, you know what? This, I got a goofed pack where it's like impossible to tear it open. Let me just summarize it this way. To me, watermelon isn't this bright green. It's like a ghosty see-through, darker green, but the transparency is what's key. Yum's watermelon red flake is that dark watermelon, but it's really clear. And then the red flake in it gives it just a lot of warmth. So I feel like their watermelon red flake, the only other company that I've seen that makes a similar watermelon red flake that I have that kind of confidence in is Strike King. Just Yum's watermelon red flake is the best watermelon red flake, period, of every bait maker. So we'll see if these have changed since the F2 dingers, which really were lame. And I'm hoping they did, because if they did, I just saved myself a shit ton of money on stick baits. What else do we have here? All right, maybe you'll get the gist of my next video from some of these. Oh, one more Yum dinger pack here in Red Bug, which is another dinger color that I've never owned. They're just, when I was fishing Yum dingers a lot, 12 years ago now, in the late 2000s, a lot of these colors didn't exist. I feel like they had like 12 or 14 colors. So it's, you know, translucent red with that green flake. You know, some translucent red would have been really nice when I was fishing the dingers before. So kind of stoked about that. So let's see what we got here. So next up and last up. Just making sure I'm not lying that it is last up. All right. The Powerbait cash out worm. So we've talked about what I use for my net rigs. Okay, I only have two. I'm gonna try the Deps Death Adder. Just because those colors are so rad and it's so tiny, and I thought this would make a killer drop shot bait. So when I'm wading a small creek for smallmouth, and I might be switching between drop shots and Ned rigs, the idea to have something that I had confidence in as a Ned and as a drop shot was what really drove the idea behind the Death Adder. I just wanted to, you know, I wanted to try them. Simple as that. Now, when it comes to the cash out worm, the Berkley cash out worm, I've never fished it. But I will tell you that back in the day, in the 90s, I fished a ton of power bait stuff. For smallmouth, a lot more than for largemouth. But I don't know, it's totally superstitious. I don't know that there's anything to it. But when I was using power bait in the 90s, I was crushing big smallmouth. And I'm not crushing big smallmouth anymore. So I thought this might be nice to take to the smallmouth waters as instead of a minnow, like I have with the Hazadong, or a craw like I have with the Doe Live, okay, in that 3-inch size, a 3-inch sort of hybrid, between the two. So I bought the cash out worm in every color. So I got it in watermelon candy. I'll read them to you because I don't remember what the hell. Peanut butter and jelly. I'm going to read them to you because it's dumb. Green pumpkin. Let's go through them quick. Skeets, chartreuse shad. Cotton candy. I think this is probably Aaron's. Morning Dawn silver. That's pretty beautiful. We're going to take one out and look at it. Midnight Magic, which I thought was really interesting. It's a black and blue with some really awesome red flake in it. It's very, very cool. Green pumpkin chartreuse. There should be a green pumpkin orange. Yeah, green pumpkin chartreuse tail. Green pumpkin orange tail. What the heck is this one? Perfection. So usually when people say that, they're talking about some kind of craw, and again, that's what we're looking at there. Margarita red, killer color, and Skeets green money. It looks like almost looks like a peanut butter and jelly, but that would have been peanut butter and jelly. So it's like a lighter, it's more purple with a like a purple pearl belly. So we'll take a look at this one. So yeah, so well actually let's look at a clear one and then we'll end it here, and then I'll do a deep dive where we look at all of these in detail. So that'll be the next video. So come back and look for that one like a day or two later, because I'll do up close and personal with every color, so you know exactly what you're getting when you go to buy it. So I'm gonna go buy the cash out worm. Go look at angler units, deep dive on the colors, and be like, you know what, that'll work in my waters, that'll work in my waters, that won't. And then just buy those couple that you know are gonna be money, no pun intended. So what's the deal here? Why did I want this? All right, so part of it was nostalgia for the Powerbait brand. Part of it was, I kind of feel like Powerbait works. And I had a lot of good times with it back in the day. And because I've got such a specific minnow profile and such a specific craw profile, I thought it would be neat to have a Ned profile that was both and done really well. So when you look at it, you've got a little tail on the back, bait fish, right? And this one, I believe this one's the cotton candy, yeah. So you've got your bait fish profile, okay? It looks like a little goby or a little minnow because it's got a little tail on it. But because of that crazy rib section, when you look at a craw from the side, a little crayfish, they don't get much bigger than this where I live. They kind of look like that. So I thought, you know, this looks like both. And when you're wading waist deep in water and you're just going to throw like a Ned rig or a drop shot, just having a couple baits that sort of mimic everything can be a huge boost to your confidence and reducing your stress on the water. So I was thinking, I'll go out, I'll take the cash out worm, I'll take the death adder. Between those two, you know, drop shot, Ned, kind of have a little 1-2 punch of everything that looks like everything. And I don't have to get caught up in, you know, are they feeding on crayfish? Are they feeding on bait fish? Like, you know, that was the idea behind it. I don't know. My thought process doesn't mean I know shit. Just means I've been fishing a long time and have way too much time to think about this stuff. So that concludes this episode. You guys, thanks for watching me open up a bunch of shit that I bought on Tackle Warehouse. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.